So just be comfortable. It's really important just to think of meditation as something very ordinary, not something special and holy, you know. It's just a particular way to work with our own mind. Now that means psychology. That's it. So there's a way, let's talk briefly first about how to sit. Sort of an ideal scenario that makes it really conducive for the mind to do the job of whatever it's going to be doing. Because it's not, even though your body does not meditate, your mind meditates. But it's crucial for the body to be in a good posture. So just briefly, about 7 points, according to the traditional instructions. But before we start that, let's just put a positive motivation, an altruistic thought into our minds to start the day. So reflecting, which is what we did when we woke up, that, wow, I'm still alive, how amazing. What conditions of this life of mine are still existing. So may I make the most of it. Don't waste it. Don't take it for granted. I worked incredibly hard in the past to be the person I am now. So I'm going to meditate, listen to these Buddhist ideas about reality, reflect upon them, make sense of them, analyse them, discuss them, so that I can take some tools from there to develop my own marvellous potential, so that I can be of benefit to others. For this reason, I'm sitting here. So the first thing is the back. Well, that's the legs, okay? So as we know, the Asian tradition is to be sitting on the floor, and the ideal, the best of all, is to have the legs in what they call full lotus. If we can do this, then it really aligns the subtler physical energies and makes it excellent for the mind. So if you can have each instep on the other thigh, it's excellent. If you can't, then you have one leg. If you can't do this, you sit ordinary cross-legged. If you can't do this, you sit in a chair. If you can't do that, you lie down. Whatever you can do, you do. Aim for the best, but do what you can. The ideal thing is to have the legs flat on the ground, sort of, and then just a cushion underneath your coccyx, just to sort of lift up at the back, but each of us is very different. Some people like several cushions, some people like a little stool. You find what works for you. It's really important. The next one is your back. This is really important. Your bones, in particular your back, your spine. You think of your spine, one way to think is that it's like your spine is like an arrow, absolutely straight. And the head of the arrow is the coccyx, pointing directly into the earth. Absolutely straight. They don't say it like this, but I find it helpful. You think of all your bones, your skeleton, as completely straight, as if it's hanging on a hanger. Everything is straight, completely straight. Your body is absolutely upright. But the muscles, completely relaxed. So they mention your shoulders, not tense. Well, the whole body, all the muscles, your abdomen, all the muscles, we hold so tense. So as soon as we relax our muscles, what happens is we then slump. And if we sit upright, we tense. So think of your bones as completely straight, but the muscles, the fat, the flesh, hanging on those bones. No tension, completely relaxed. So your body is very upright. Because if not, if you're slumping, your mind becomes sluggish. So if you're sitting in a chair, don't lean into the back of the chair. Hold yourself up. That's important. But check your muscles, your back, your shoulders, your abdomen. We always tense our abdomen. We don't like to look fat. Always squeezing. Relax the muscles. Put the body straight. Next is the hands. There's many ways you can have. The traditional way is you have your left hand underneath and the right hand on top. I think different traditions do different ways, like this. And your thumbs forming a triangle, touching. But some people like to have their hands this way, in their lap, on their knees, upright, thumbs here, whatever works for you. Your arms not tense against your body, relaxed. And now your head and your neck. Best to have your chin slightly tucked in, so your head slightly forward, not thrust back. This makes the mind more agitated. Slightly forward, chin tucked in. Gives kind of a feeling anyway of looking inward. Jaw relaxed. Different people say different things, but traditionally in here you can say you could have your lips slightly apart. And then the tip of the tongue, it seems very odd, but it's got very practical meaning. Tip of your tongue behind the top teeth, just near the palate. They say this prevents you from dribbling when you're meditating nice and seriously. Tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, jaw relaxed, lips slightly apart. Breathing through your nose. Finally, your eyes. All the meditators say that it's best to have your eyes open, because if during the day you're meditating, the light comes in and keeps your mind sharp and clear, which is really important. But for most of us, we get easily distracted because we don't have any focus. So perhaps it doesn't work for us to have our eyes open. So your eyes lightly closed, with your eyes looking down, as if you were looking along your nose towards the ground. So this is the ideal posture. Settle into this, and then forget about your body, because like I said, your body doesn't meditate. Your mind does. So your legs, back, spine, shoulders, neck, jaw, lips, tongue, eyes. Settle into it now. So there are thousands of meditation techniques, but you can divide them into two categories. And the first kind, which we will do first, and obviously we'll talk about it later, is a method, a very practical psychological technique for training us to focus the mind, concentrate the mind. Absolutely necessary. Many ways to do. We'll try one method first, for say 5-7 minutes. I have to talk some more, I'm sorry. But once you get used to it, you can do it. So, our mind meditates, but then the mind consists of many bits, many parts, many types of thoughts. So what we're training here is the awareness. Awareness is like the eye of your mind, the part that does the looking, E-Y-E, the part that does the looking. We're training it to focus. So think of it now, it's like a 2-year-old kid, no focus, completely like a little bird all over the place, always distracted, running here, running there. So we're trying to train this awareness, this part of our mind, to stay on one thing. So for this exercise, that's the job. Very simple. Then there's another part of our mind, and we can call it vigilance or alertness. I remember one time His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, called it the policeman. We can call it the parent. The child is the awareness all over the place, walking on the edge of a cliff, And the alertness, this other part of your mind, is the parent, watching like a hawk, in case the kid falls off the cliff. So think simply. I don't think that way. You're going to watch your breath. Okay, the object you're going to focus on will be the sensation at your nostrils as you breathe in and out. That's got what your awareness will be focusing on, that sensation, and the alertness will be watching every time the awareness wanders off, which it will do within a half a second, because that's its habit. And this other part of your mind notices, and you bring it back to the breath. You bring the awareness back to the breath. And if you do that 50 times in a minute, that's fantastic. Better than falling off the cliff. So the thing is, with this type of meditation, don't think you're supposed to sort of get some special vision, space out, have a good feeling. All the ideas we have are so cliched. This is a really tough job to do, to train the mind to do what it's never done. Stay on one thing. So you need enormous discipline, enormous effort, sharpness, clarity, adjusting it. It's a tough job to do, like learning anything for the first time. And the idea isn't to make all the thoughts go away. That's a joke. The aim here is not to pay attention to the thoughts. Let as many thoughts come, but let them go. Stay focused on the breath. That's the point. Millions of thoughts are going to be there. It's totally normal. Let them be there. But the major change is we're not going to absorb into the thoughts. We're not going to have a conversation with the thoughts. The job is to simply watch the breath. Every time it wanders off, you bring your mind back to the breath. That's the job. So first, just take 1 or 2 deep breaths. Get into the habit of having a good deep breath. We're usually shallow breathing, which keeps us tense. So a couple of deep breaths, not loud. You shouldn't hear it. The person next to you shouldn't hear your breath. Take a couple of deep breaths all the way down to your abdomen. But the point is, notice the sensation at your nostrils. Take a couple of breaths, and then we'll start the exercise. A couple of breaths deeply in and deeply out, noticing the sensation. So now simply practice watching the breath. Every time it wanders off, bring your mind back to the breath. That's the job. just bring the awareness back to the breath. Just the breath. And keep the mind sharp, not spaced out. Alert. So relax the mind. Just completely stop, relax the mind, open the eyes. If you have to adjust your body. I remember doing one retreat with one Lama and we did 5-minute sessions. Far better to have 5 quality minutes than even 7 that are spacing out, or 10 or 20. The point here is not to feel good. That's a bonus. The point is to train the mind to stay unbelievably clearly and sharp on one thing. So just for like 1 minute, relax, and then we do again. If you're not comfortable, move your legs, fix yourself, find a position that works for you. You don't have to suffer, believe me, that's absurd. If you need to sit on chairs, you can find that, make that happen if you have to. It's important to feel comfortable. Everything's a lot easier when you're comfortable. So adjust your body again. Make a mental note of the points, if it's not natural to you. The legs, your back, shoulders, neck, jaw, tongue, your eyes. And you're breathing steady, complete breaths. Already that itself can steady the mind. Shallow breathing just agitates. Full, complete breaths. Not loud, not forced. All the way to your abdomen. And again, bring all your awareness now to that sensation at the tip of your nose. And again, just watch the breath. Let the thoughts be there. Keep your focus on the breath, as if your life depended on it. Just watch the breath. Another 5-7 minutes. Keep the mind sharp and alert, just on the breath. Keep your mind on the breath. Again, relax. And that'll do. 7:20. So, see you later. Just get up at your own pace. Relax.